Hi, Joe Murphy here. I want to talk to you about a class I just finished with a client where we were discussing with their management a term and a specific kind of leadership called servant leadership. Servant leadership. You know, servant leadership was coined, the term was coined by Robert Greenleaf of AT&T back in the 1970s. When he wrote an article talking about serving others' needs and being a servant leader. Now, if you're not familiar with Robert Greenleaf, he's written a number of books on servant leadership, but more importantly, he wrote a number of essays, and they made the essays into a book. And it's a great book, and if you can get hold of it, I would recommend reading it. But you have to pay attention because he's such a great writer that it's a profound knowledge of what he's trying to convey in terms of servant leadership. And we talked about that today on the call. I had a number of videos that I showed from Tom Peters. Tony Robbins even talks about servant leadership. Also had Simon Sinek and also Colin Powell. And they all talked about being of service to others. And we had this great discussion, and part of the conversation was somebody said that they were too helpful to others as a manager, and they were being criticized by their management. And I told the people, and I think everybody agreed, you can never be too helpful unless you're doing their job for them. But helping others is our job as leaders or as managers. Our job is to help others become successful. And that's what Robert Greenleaf pointed out. Are we being of service to our customers, our employees, to the stakeholders? Are we being of service to people in society? I'm going to tell you a quick story. Back when I was going to college many years ago, I had this older man, short in stature, kind of feeble at that time. He must have been well into his late 60s, 70s. And he got up and he was teaching economics. But what was really significant was a story he told that has changed my life. And he told of this story. He said, let me tell you what teamwork is. Teamwork, back when I was growing up, where in the 1920s, our job in high school during summers was to go shovel out coal cars. He described these trains pulling up into the station where they would have these big, immense coal cars like dump trucks running on a platform of the train. And each one of the boys would have a coal car that they were assigned to shovel it out. And there were 4 boys. He was one of the 4. He was the weakest, he said, the scrawniest. The other boys were bigger, more muscular, and were able to shovel their coal cars out quickly. Now, he said it took hours to shovel a coal car out. But each one of those boys, when they finished, they could have gotten out of their car and sat underneath a tree and drank water to revive themselves and waiting for the next train to come in. But they didn't. What they did is each boy, when one finished, that boy would jump into the next coal car to help the second boy. And then the 2 of them, when they finished that coal car, would jump into the third coal car. And this professor was telling us that last coal car was always him. Because he was the scrawniest, the smallest. They all 3, when they jumped into the car, they shoveled until that car was clean. They gave of themselves when they could have sat underneath that tree, caught a breath, drank some water, but they didn't. They jumped in to help each other. That story has resonated with me for over 30 years. I hope it resonates with you today. Jump in and help others be successful. I'm Joe Murphy, and I am here for your success. Thanks for watching.